So we just finished watching Bill Nye and looking at the rock cycle. Today, for the next part of today's segment, we're going to produce a poster that can demonstrate to me and to others your understanding of the rock cycle and the three types of rocks. The rubric for this assignment is located online in the wiki that I've provided for you. But I'm going to give you some verbal instruction just to get you started on today's project. First of all, the basic format for this poster is shown to you on the board. You should have your title, and you can be creative in the title of your poster. Of course, it has to do something with the rock cycle. You should have your name for first and last. That's a habit you need to make sure you get into. And you need to have your references. In this instance, I want the author, date, and title of the source that you obtained your information from. Actually, in this instance, most of your information can be found in your textbook starting on page 29, which is the beginning of chapter 2. And if you look on page 31, you have a nice 30 and 31, you have a nice basic example of the beginning of a rock cycle illustration. So this is an illustration that's suitable for textbook. It doesn't stand on its own, however, and your posters will need to be able to stand alone. On your poster, the basic information, much like you see in the textbook, should have and be hinged around the three types of rock. So I'm going to put this up here as an example. We have the metamorphic, Can you list the other two? Igneous, very good. And what's the third one? Can I see a show of hands? Sedimentary, excellent. Okay. And you can have some sort of form of illustration showing how those three types of rock are related. From your textbook or the online choice source that you choose, you should provide a wealth of information on the rock cycle and how these three rock types are related to one another. Per your instructions and per the rubric, forgive me, I had a loss of words there. Per the rubric, you should make an information-rich and creative poster. I have from last year a couple of examples to show you. This is an example of a good high-scoring poster. Notice that beyond having the three rock types, they talk about the processes, they describe them well. They also show a soil profile, okay, which is something that's also included in the chapter and is connected to the rock cycle, and how rocks move through the crust and go through the stages of the cycle. They also have definitions, and definitions are very important. If you just have what I show you here, this is probably about an example of a 0 or a 1 on a scale of 0 to 4. This would be an example of 4 work. This, on the other hand, might be an example of something that sits in between. Okay, it is definitely creative, and I'm not judging your work based on its artistic skill. We all have different abilities in that level, so I'm looking more at your ability to communicate these ideas through your work. Okay, so here they do relatively well. They have the definitions, but they're lacking the processes that bring one type of rock into another, that show the relationship between rocks and the rock cycle. This is another example. It sits very high on the creativity side, as you can see. Again, probably a little more information and a little more clarity in communication, showing the relationship between the three types of rocks. Remember again that when we're talking about the rock cycle, we're talking about igneous, and this is an example of lava, which is an igneous rock, came out of a volcano and came from a molten form and hardened. Through weathering, we get sedimentary rock. Okay, and this is an example of shale, Burgess Shale, with fossils inside, and we looked at that earlier. And as those types of rock, both types, get compressed into the Earth's crust and get layered upon, and there's more heat and there's more pressure, and they reach the edge of a tectonic plate, you get metamorphic rock. Okay? And this marble, again, as we've looked at, is an example of metamorphic. I hope this gives you a clear understanding of the project you're about to pursue. I'll be around to answer any questions you have as they come about. And of course, I'll open the floor right now to any questions should you have them. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you soon.